Hi, I'm Alex and welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd give you an update today and share some of my makes with you. I've been doing a little bit of knitting and a little bit of sewing. One of the sewing projects I showed you a long time ago on probably one of my early episodes, and I was doing a toile for a dress and I finished that, so I thought I'd share that with you and a little bit of shop news too. So yeah, I'll just get started straight away. I think I'll share with you, I'll start with the knitting first. And actually this is another project that I showed you quite early on. I think I started this probably about a year ago. It's in one of my big giant, I think this is probably almost filling the whole screen, my sweater sacks. And yeah, if you don't know, if this is your first time watching, I screen print fabric and I sew bags for makers. So I have lots of knitting project bags and notions pouches, that kind of thing. So this is my sweater sack, and in it has obviously a sweater, and it's my Terraster that I did. I think I started this about a year ago, and it's from Lane magazine, the 3rd issue. So going back a little bit, I'll bring it in so you can see those colours nice and clearly. They're really lovely. I actually, somebody I follow on Instagram, I'll link her in my show notes so you can see her version. She used this exact same colour palette, so I can't take credit for the colours because when I showed it on Instagram, lots of people said that they loved them. So, oh, sorry if you can hear that, that's my iron. That's just saying that it's shutting itself off. So yeah, so I've just been working on this. As I say, I started it about a year ago, and the thing that stopped me working on it was I literally felt like I was fighting with the yarn. After I got through the yoke section, it was just so tough knitting. I can't really explain it, but it just felt like the yarn was fighting me. And what I did was I changed needles, and I don't know if you'll be able to see, I doubt very clearly, but basically this needle has quite a dull tip. It's an Addy, I think, or I'm not sure if they have a name, but basically the Addy, sort of the entry level Addy circulars, they have a much smoother tip compared to the higher highs that I was using. And I think basically the higher highs were so sharp that they were catching, rather than going smoothly through each of the loops on my needles, it was sort of catching little hairs, so it was kind of knitting together bits that shouldn't have been, and that's why it felt like it was fighting. So as soon as I switched needles, I thought, right, I'll switch needles and try and give it a last attempt. And yeah, it was perfect. That was exactly what I needed to do. And I finished the body since I spoke to you last, so I can't remember when I did my last episode, about a month ago. I've finished knitting the body, separated for the sleeves. I've actually finished this sleeve. I just need to, well, no, I haven't finished the sleeve, but I've finished doing all the decreases on the sleeve, and I just need to do the ribbing now. So hopefully when I see you next, I'll have a fully finished sweater. And if I didn't say, this is by Jennifer Steingass. This is one of her patterns for Lane magazine, and I'm knitting it in Let Lopey. And I think I've got the 3, well, I've got a tiny weeny bit of this one, but these are the 3 colours that I have used. And I'll link in my show notes the different colours. Oh, I've got a hair in there. Yeah, I'll link the colours, but I think you'll agree that's a really lovely colour palette, and I've enjoyed working with the yarn. It's definitely like a rustic feel, but I think since I've tried it on, I definitely think I'll be able to wear it. It won't irritate my skin, especially if I've got a t-shirt underneath. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with how that's coming on. Although I'm probably going to finish it when it's a bit too warm. It's definitely going to be a super cosy sweater. So maybe it won't get much wear until next year. Although I'm in England, I haven't said that before. And yeah, sometimes the weather in the summer can be not the best. We have very changeable weather here, so it might get some use. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that project. So I will, as I said, I'll pop the notes in the show notes, and before I forget to tell you, there'll be a link down below which will take you over to the blog on my website, Alex Collins Designs, where it will have all the details of everything I'm chatting about today, And also, if you'd rather get the show notes to your email, I actually have a sign up for you also below. So I send out, every time one of these videos goes live, I send out a quick email to everybody on that list with all the show notes and letting you know that a new video is up. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, have a look below this video on YouTube and you'll see the link where you can sign up to get show notes to your email. So yeah, I didn't want to forget to tell you that, because lots of people seem to like having their show notes that way. So that's my project at the moment that I'm working on, and I've got one other. I haven't got tons of knitting because I've sort of just been working pretty monogamously on these two. I showed you this last time, and this is in another one of my project bags, just one of the little small ones. This is like a regular size project bag that's great for shawls and projects like this where they're kind of mid-stage. And this is a truss cardigan, well, it will be, which is a Brooklyn tweed pattern, and it's by Melissa Well. And you can see I've finished the chart. When I spoke to you last time, I'm not sure how far I'd got, but I was somewhere on this chart. I'll just try and smooth out for you. I've been pretty much working on the other sweater I've shown you, so this has been a bit crumpled up ever since I got to the end of this chart. I haven't done much more, I'll say, but it's got a really nice tubular cast on, which I haven't done before, which I enjoyed. And I'll show you the back as well, because I quite like that, how the V kind of meets. Yeah, it's got a really nice shape to it. My friend Claire of Sister Mountain, she has got one of these. I think she knit hers in a Barocco yarn. It's an alpaca blend, hers, and this is actually knit in Fibre Company Canopy worsted, which is discontinued. I think that was discontinued, I can't remember, at least I probably got this like at least about 3 years ago, something like that. So yeah, if you're looking for an alternative, this is a alpaca merino blend, and it has a little bit of bamboo as well. So if you're looking for an alternative, you want sort of like a worsted weight yarn, yeah, that fits. So I've been working away on that, but not too much to show you. But yeah, I am enjoying that. It's just that my Terraster, I can just go round and round and round. It's stockinette. It's the kind of thing I can do at the end of a long day in front of the TV and don't really have to give it any thought. So I've been working on that mainly, but I think probably when I finish that, I'll get straight back into doing my truss cardigan. So that's knitting projects. And the one thing I'm really excited to show you is my, how should I say this? I think you say myosotis is how you pronounce it, or myosotis. It's dressed by Deer and Doe, and there's a couple of different versions. I wonder if I stand up and try and bring it back, if you can kind of see. Kind of. But anyway, the details mainly at the top, but it's got a nice kind of gathered waistline, and can you see they're quite, almost like a little bit camouflaged, but you can see here, it's got 3 little buttons. The buttons were from John Lewis. I've actually bought them twice, because the first time I bought them, I lost them. Even though I wrapped them super carefully and I put them in my purse, I don't know how, somehow I still managed to lose them, so had to purchase them twice. And I think the only change I made to the pattern was adjusting the sleeve length. I think I took a little bit off the sleeves for this. But yeah, I'm so pleased. It's got darts in the back, and you can see, it's hard to see with the print, but it's also got some darts here and darts here, so it's got a really nice shape to it. I've taken some photos with it actually since I've finished, so I'll probably share those on Instagram. So if you have a look over there in the next few days, you will see what it looks like on. I was a bit worried about the fit because of it being quite loose. I tend to feel like I look better in things that are not super oversized because I'm quite petite, so I don't tend to like dresses if they look baggy, but this is loose without being baggy. I think because of the waistline and the shaping of the darts, the top has a nice shape to it, and it's got this sort of, I don't know if you'd call that like a granddad style collar, but it's got, yeah, a nice simple collar to it. And this was just quite an inexpensive fabric that I got from Minerva Crafts, and I'm actually really pleased with how it turned out. I sort of almost did this as like a wearable muslin, But yeah, I actually really like it, and I think it'll be lovely in the summer. The blue looks a little bit richer on the camera. I think in person it's more of like a navy blue, whereas it looks a brighter blue on the camera, I think. But yeah, I really like it. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. The only thing I'm annoyed at is that I had so much trouble doing the buttons. If you've sewn before and done buttonholes, you know sometimes they can just be a bit tricky. I have an automatic setting on my sewing machine for doing the buttons, so it should be a breeze, but I did 2 perfectly, and one of them, the button decided to, halfway through, it sort of just stopped. So I had like 2.5 funny buttonholes, so I had to rip one of the buttonholes out, which is not that easy because they're quite secure. And then when I finished, I realised I didn't even need the buttonholes because I can get it on and off without undoing the buttons. So I could have just done some like faux buttons and actually sewn through. So if I do this again, I think that might be what I'll do. What I actually really want to do is I want to do this in like a linen, so I'm thinking for the summer to actually try and do a linen version and have it as a maxi length version, which I think would look really nice. I know Merchant and Mills have got some lovely, some really lovely linens and like linen cotton blends that I think would go really nicely with this. I've got, next time I'll have to show you, I've been putting together, I don't know if you remember it might have been last episode or the episode before, where I showed you that I put together like a mood board showing all the sort of outfits and looks and garments that I'm really drawn to for that season. I kind of use that as an inspiration point for my all my like makes, whether I don't necessarily always have patterns in there, but or some of the patterns, and some are just ready to wear things that kind of inspire the looks that I want to sew or knit for the season. And I've got, yeah, a few of those sort of like linen long kind of maxi dress, well not even maxi dress actually, more like a sort of mid calf length with pockets and sort of slightly oversized buttons is like a look that I really like. So I think that would be like a really good pattern to use that as the basis for. So I was really pleased with how that came out. And what else should I show you? Oh, I've got another sewing. You might have seen this on my Instagram because I've posted a few stories about this, and it's the Indian Summer by Susie Quilts. I don't know, does that show up? And you can see my you can see the colour palette that I've used there, if it will focus. But this is using Bella Solids. I've done mine in, that came from Fabric HQ, which is my local fabric shop. So it's only about 20-30 minutes away. They don't have, they do have some dressmaking fabrics, and they've got a really good jersey making section. But where they really shine is like all the quilting weight cottons. So you can see all I've done so far is, on my plain side, I'm not even sure if it will show up on camera, but I've marked out the sewing lines that I need to do, and yeah, I've got all my bits ready to go for that. And it's not spoiling anything if you saw the pattern, because I think this is actually a free pattern, so I'll link that in the show notes if anyone's interested. I haven't made a quilt in so long. In fact, I don't really even have any quilts left. The only quilts I tend to make are for friends if they're having babies and that kind of thing. I've gifted quite a few quilts, so I thought it'd be really nice. This is sort of a baby sized quilt, but I thought it'd be a nice kind of throw for in the summer if you want to like take it out for picnics, or just to like snuggle on the sofa with. It's the right kind of size for that. So yeah, it's really nice to be doing something like this. It's a very simple quilt, but I like the way she's laid out the colours. You can see on mine I've coloured in the yellows, if it will pick up, because I've swapped out one of the pinks. It was like a little bit too pink for me, and I've swapped it with a yellow. But I really like the very randomness of all the different colours, because that's the thing that I find quite hard about quilting, is that I like overthink where they go, and if 2 fabrics of the same colour or the same pattern are touching, and it just like is a bit overwhelmed. But I always really try and get that very random feel, so it's nice to work from a pattern like this where it already has that. And I've got my stack of squares, so I'll probably work on that this weekend. It's something that I've been enjoying doing kind of in the weekends, and I've just been, these squares that I've done, I've actually been working on that a little bit in the morning before I start work, because I don't like to use my sewing machine too early in the morning, just because I don't think it's very nice for the neighbours. I'm not sure if they can hear it, but if they can, I don't like to use it too early. So this is something just cutting and doing like all the drawing of all the lines and making sure it's nice and accurate is something that I can do in the morning if I don't feel like reading. So I've been doing that. And everything, those are all the projects I've been working on, except for work stuff. So I'll show you, I've got my new collection coming out, and if you've seen on stories, you'll see I haven't been able to resist sharing little sneak peeks. And this is the new Spring Bees pattern. So this is the drawstring bag, and I'll see if I can come in so you can see. Can you see that? It's got these like super cool little gold bees in the print. And yeah, if you didn't know, all of my fabrics are also organic, so everything's all organic, and I use non-toxic inks, and I basically draw the prints and have them created into screens with a screen maker, and then I screen print all the fabric and sew them into these bags for you. So that's the first one. I've got the drawstring project bags, and there'll also be little DPN cozies if you like those, and on the back they just have my logo on them. Hope that's picking up for you. Trying not to make you too seasick today, so I don't want to do too much backwards and forwards because I know sometimes that's not great on the camera. And then to complement the fabric, I've just got these like small little prints on sock sacks, and you can actually get the sock sack and the DPN cozies. They come as like a set as well if you want to get both of those. And again, on the back they just have my little logo hand stamped. These are a great size for socks, as I said, or like any small project like mittens and that kind of thing. You can kind of see they actually don't look that different inside. Well, I suppose it's because this one is so much wider, but yeah, I can cram quite a lot in these. You can definitely use these for like shawls and socks, and like I'd used my other bag for sort of projects that were in progress before I'd maybe gone to a bigger bag. So I'm really, really excited to have these out because I've been wanting to bring something new, and this has actually given me quite a lot of headaches. I've had a lot of troubleshooting with the print, and yeah, it took quite a long time, longer than I thought it was going to get to this point. So I'm really happy to finally be able to be bringing these to you. And if you're a subscriber, I think when this video goes up, you'll have already had an email inviting you to shop the pre-order. So you might have already purchased one of these, but if you're not a subscriber, they will probably be coming to the shop in the next week, possibly 2 weeks at most, depending on how many pre-orders I get. But I would guess that I will probably have these listed for general sale next week, so it's probably next Saturday. So yeah, I'm very excited to have been able to share those with you. It's been so hard not to show you. I have shown sort of sneak peeks over on my Instagram stories, and even some of like my sketches and things like that. So I know that some of you will have seen that, but yeah, it feels really nice to be able to actually put them in the shop and have people knitting, having all their projects for knitting over the spring and the summer in these lovely spring bags. And yeah, I think that's probably everything that I wanted to chat to you about today. I just like to pop in every now and then and give you a little update when I've got a few pieces to show you, rather than sort of do loads and loads in one go, because that's how I tend to work. I kind of have 1 or 2 projects that I'm really interested in going at a time, and I pretty much work on those solidly. I know lots of people on YouTube, they kind of have loads of stuff, and I don't know how they fit it all in, but I certainly can't sort of focus on more than like two knitting projects. I usually have like something really easy, something that takes a bit of brain power, and then some sewing things. I usually have one sort of sewing project that I'll kind of work on over the weekends. I don't tend to sew clothes during the week, just because I'm sewing so much for the shop that doesn't really feel like a break. I kind of, at the end of the day, I'd rather like pick up my sewing or read a book or something like that. So I think the only thing left to say is, if you're wondering what I'm wearing, this is a grain line lark tee, and the fabric, I think it's from Village Haberdashery, and I'm pretty sure it's an organic interlock. I will put the details in the show notes, but I think they still do this fabric, so and I really like it. I wear these all the time. I'm sure I've probably worn this already in a video actually, because I pretty much wear it a few times each week. So yeah, it's quite a popular piece in my wardrobe. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and if you're watching this real time, I hope you have a lovely weekend, because this is probably Saturday when it's going up, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.